What's going on, everybody? It's Chris, aka Unnecessary-Roughness. I'm here today to do a tutorial on something that, for some reason, isn't talked about a lot. There are tutorials out there, but for some reason, it's not a very popular topic, and not a lot of people use this technique. Um, that being said, it's super powerful, and that is resampling. So, what exactly is resampling? I have a cool definition I found here. Put simply, resampling is a way of routing audio in Ableton to enable you to record a signal from within your project. It's really useful for things like bouncing down a little drum arrangement to one simple audio loop or recording a synth MIDI part onto an audio channel. But that's kind of a basic element, I guess, or the most basic way of using it. Um, the way I do it, and a lot of, I guess, probably a lot of drum and bass producers, and even like Skrillex and guys like that, like when that style of music got popular, they weren't using Serum and really advanced synths. So what like Skrillex would do is render that MIDI down to an audio file, and then stretch it, pitch shift it, reverse it, do all sorts of cool things with it, render it down to another audio file, and either repeat or that could be the end of the process right there. You can add effects. There's all sorts of cool things you can do that you just can't do with MIDI. And I think that most synths, even hardware synths and even Serum, are designed to be resampled. It's not designed to have 20 serums in inside of your project. Like it doesn't make sense. Um, so when you are resampling, there are a couple of different pros for it. One, it's easier on your CPU. Two, it's more, you can have more manipulation of that file. So what I was going to do is I'll show you guys. There's two main ways of doing it in Ableton. I'm sure you can do it in every DAW, but in Ableton, there's two main ways of doing this. One would just be to any MIDI that you have, you can just right click on the channel and freeze and flatten it. So I'll just show you guys what that looks like. Let's just open up Serum. And I'm just going to chuck some MIDI on there. I grab one at random. Let's go with this one. And so let's say this is your Serum preset. I'm just going to turn this down just in case. Beautiful. So you would any kind of modulation or anything that you might want to put in here, you could record by automating it. And then when you're happy with it, you can right click it, go freeze track, flatten track, and you have a WAV file. Boom, just like that. And like I said, you can now chop this up. If you don't like this sound in there, you want to do this one twice, step back, whatever. You can pitch it up and down, warp it different ways. You can reverse it. Maybe not the best example there, but there's all sorts of things that you can do. You can time stretch. Oops. You have to crop it first. Or maybe just have to have a warp marker there, I guess. Cropping it would add a warp marker. So you can stretch this out. There's all sorts of things in here. You can transpose it. Like, really, there's a lot of really cool things you can do right off the bat. And that would take a lot longer with MIDI. And again, once you've done a bunch of stuff to that, you can go freeze track, flatten track, and you have a wave file again. You can consolidate that if you wanted to. Um, and keep going if you want, right? So possibilities are almost endless. Um, the other way of doing this is, I'm just going to delete this. Let's try something else. Let's get vital. And then let's try the text to wavetable. I don't use this very often, but it's pretty cool. So I think you edit that. I can't remember now. I think it's somewhere in here. I can't remember. Well, either way, let's just put in some MIDI. Close this for now.
Text, 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 text to wavetable. Text, 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 text to wavetable. Text to wavetable. Text to wavetable. Text to wavetable.
So the other way you could resample this is have another audio, or another audio channel, not a MIDI channel, and have the input be the synth that you want to, whatever you want to resample. Change it to in, and hit record on there, or arm it there. I want to bring this down, and I'm going to bring this down too. Now that it's armed, you can hit record.
Text to wavetable. Text to wavetable. Text to wavetable. Text to wavetable.
And just turn this back to off, and you have your recording ready to rock. And again, you can do whatever you want. You can flip this up and do whatever you want. You can right click it here and slice it to a MIDI track.
Text to wavetable. Text to wavetable.
Then you could even, chuck an arpeggiator on there.
Text to wavetable. Text to wavetable. Text to wavetable. Text to wavetable. Text to wavetable.
So there's lots of cool things you can do there. You can just even throw this into a sampler or simpler if you wanted to. Let's try simpler. Throw that in there. Bring this MIDI down here.
Text to wavetable.
So yeah, there's all sorts of really cool things that you can do once you have rendered that down to a wave file. But what I want to show you guys today is how I do it with my music and my I guess signature sound, you could call it. So what I'll do here is I'm just going to my user library, instrument rack presets, and let's just see here. Try this one. Okay, so this is a preset I made. I'm not going to go too into what is inside of this rack because it's pretty intense. Like it goes pretty deep in here. Um, but maybe one day I'll do a tutorial on that once I have a better understanding of it, I guess. um, so this is my kind of signature sound that I use. And what I like to do is I'll take some MIDI and let's try F sharp. Okay, so bass lines. Um, the MIDI is actually selection here is kind of important. Don't want to have too much like short notes, too many long notes. I like to have like a nice kind of mix of all of them. Good. And delete that one, delete that one. These are not going to work. And you'll get to know what works for you when you've done this, 700 times like I have. So I'll just go through here and I'll select some MIDI. Fine. Good. Okay. So then what I'll do is I'll Command J to consolidate. I like to only have a couple of octaves in here. So bring that one down, bring the zeros up. So, oops. So, Command A, bring it all down. And we're going to duplicate, bring it up an octave. Oh man. I know what I'm doing, I swear. And then maybe one more. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so now that we've got all that, I like to Command J this again. And that's kind of our starting point for our MIDI. We've got our instrument here, and this can be anything. It can be Serum, it can be whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Just the main goal here is to get as many variations as possible while we're recording. So one thing I like to add in here as well is I'm a big fan of the beat repeat. So I'll usually group this right away, and just because I know what I like to use here, so I'll assign the interval, the offset, grid, and the variation up, and the gate, and then I'm going to put this as an insert. And yeah, that should do it for now. Oh, and then I actually assign the on off for the device as well. And that should be okay for now. I actually have a really complex template that I might share with everybody. But for now, this'll work. Let's see, I'll show you just like a quick little intro here. Actually, you know what? Let's just get started on it. So I'm going to do a new audio track. I'm going to bring this down to -10 as well. And do the input from channel 1, input, arm it. And so I like to use this technique instead of freeze and flatten. And just in case, I will add a limiter on the end of the channel. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll hit record, and I'm just going to try, like I said, to get as many different variations as I possibly can. And let's check it out. Okay, so what I'm going to do here too is I'm going to bring this down, channel off, and what I'll do a lot of times too is I'll actually change the instrument, not too much, but bring in a new instrument just to kind of switch things up. So let's see here. Okay, here. Try this one. So here we go. Yeah, some of my bass racks take a while to load up. So I think this has beat repeat built in. Yeah, so beat repeat, and yeah, so let's try this one again. And now we're gonna just add another variation basically. Okay, that's good for now. So now what we can do is we can actually turn this channel off, turn that channel off, and we come back on. And we have a bunch of wave file here to work with. So usually what I'll do here is I will throw in just a drum beat of some kind to fill it out a bit. We have something to reference to. So I like to use these Ghost Syndicate sample packs because they have like these stripped down drums, which are awesome. And I'll just throw a couple of different ones in there. Cool. So then I usually will just kind of just duplicate this channel. We'll delete this content here. And now we kind of have like a cutting board. So we can go through here and find parts that we really like to start and go from there. And after you've done this enough times, you'll kind of start to recognize like what'll sound good in certain ways. So for example, take a look here. So you can take this, we'll just crop it, and we come in here and we can add it to maybe texture. Let's go times by 2. Divide. Try that on complex. And let's bring it down. Oh. Right, so there's a happy accident. Cool. So yeah, you can kind of see here, it's quite easy to just get a bunch of really cool noise out of here. Okay, so now that we have this set up here, we can I'm gonna turn this channel off, and we'll just start back here with these beats, and I'll just bring this down a bit. And okay, so now we're just gonna basically piece these back together in a way that we like. Okay. Sometimes what I like to do is like take whatever and kind of make it a downbeat for this part, and then have a different repeating section. I liked it more that way. Duplicate this one a little bit, turn it up. Consolidate this really quick. I'm just going to do this. And so you'll notice here, like sometimes I like to leave these gaps open a bit, and that might be for vocal samples or other samples of some kind. Maybe there's something, a sound I want to use in there, or sample from a vocal pack or whatever. I just leave a little bit of space for that. Um, just makes life a little bit easier, and I end up using it pretty much every single time I leave that space open. I end up it quite often. So I'm gonna do some warping here and some timing and okay. So I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna go crazy on these examples, but I think you guys get it. It's pretty easy to kind of come up with really unique sounds in once they're set up as WAV files. And there's just a lot of stuff you can't do as with MIDI. So if you wanted to take this further, you could resample this into another channel and add a bunch of effects. You could add, there's all sorts of them. Isotope Stutter Edit is really good for that. Shaper Box. Um, you know, there's so many of them out there. I'm sure I'm missing a lot of them. Just as a quick example, you slice this to a new MIDI track. You come down here. And you now can individually select all of these and moving them around. So yeah, like it's super fun to kind of just even get lost in this. Again, you could take, let's say, if you're pumped about this sound, you could have like a cool trappy vibe, like minimal trap vibe here. And you could again freeze track, flatten track, and there's your audio, and you could mix that in together or whatever. So one of the last steps that I would do here is I would, after I have a bunch of loops set up, I would take that particular channel, maybe have it on another channel, but I would take some plugins. Like the first thing I would do probably is I like to throw Ozone 9 low end focus on there. But you can do whatever you want here. This is all to taste. Oops, that's why. Next, I like to put this imager on. That one? Yeah. We'll just go with this and we'll learn. I like to add stereoize, or the second one for some reason. Because these are kind of split between the middle, I won't go too big on that. And then I would like to usually just compress the shit out of it. So I'll add a solid bus comp. Native Instruments, I love this thing. I use it so much. I'll do mixed glue. And just put this at 50 and bring this down. And we're going to add another one. And I like to use mix bus. Again, that down. And then I'll usually add a supercharger. Also from Native Instruments. Again, I use this on everything. I like to add this under mix bus, add some dirt and punch %. After that, sometimes I'll add a maximizer depending, but I think we got some pretty good volume on here. Yeah, I think I'll be good on that. Then usually what I do is I will add a color limiter, which is new from Ableton. It's awesome. I forget which pack I got it from, but I think it was free. Add some saturation and some color to it, and bring this down to maybe 1.7, and just a little bit of a gain staging trick. Is at 0.5, 0. And then, yeah, freeze. Flatten. Got some big, huge waves there now. And then I would label that and put it into my sample pack, which I did kind of preview in my last tutorial, like how I lay that all out, just like a normal one. I started a second one here now, and just kind of slowly make new loops and stuff. But yeah, I can add this one there and we'd be good to go. So yeah, hopefully you guys learned something. I know I kind of went on, this one's a lot longer. I went on a bit of a tangent here, but there's a lot you can do with resampling. Like, I'm not even close to the tip of the iceberg with this. Like, it is intense what you can do with resampling. So powerful. I don't know why more people don't talk about it. Shout out to Bill Gates, Producer Dojo, and all of the courses that guy has done, because that's where I learned a lot of these techniques, was through his courses. So shout out to Bill Gates for those techniques. And then a lot of them too, like, I've just acquired over doing it over and over and over again, and saving things in racks. So if you use Ableton, save things in racks. That's going to be another tutorial down the line, because racks are a super powerful part of Ableton as well. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you did, please like and subscribe. Check out my Discord channel, and you can send me questions about music production or life or whatever you want. Maybe not chemistry, but music production is usually pretty good. Life, I'm all right. So yeah, check me out on Facebook, SoundCloud. I'll put everything in the description. Yeah, stay tuned for more, you guys. Peace out. Love ya.